So I picked out those two colors. Now I will see how I feel about the teal. It might be a bit too much, but that will be kind of, you know, last minute decision. The lip, because I tend to actually like to have the hair accessories the same color as the lip most cases, because it just kind of minimizes on the colors. It doesn't put too many colors there, and so I might do that, but that decision usually happens as I go. So I'm just going to swatch it out. So this is the Holbein acrylic gouache and the color is coral red. It's just, there's enough in the cap here that I can swatch out. What I really like about this color, it's super matte. When it dries, it's that beautiful matte lipstick. So I'm a huge fan, and we will see. Okay, then eye makeup color. Of course, we'd want to head down the Orange Avenue, because that would kind of make a lovely palette here. And you can see I used quite a bit of orange around here. So let's see. I want to pick out some really rusty, kind of russet type of colors, really warm, and see where it takes us. So I've got a nice palette here. Some are more orange than others. So I'm thinking, let's just swatch out all of them and give us a little option here. So this might be a bit too orange, but you might be surprised that dotting this color, not using a lot of it, but just dotting it as little pops of color, actually looks really lovely. So you can see that the colors are getting more intense. This is more of a redder one. And then I've got like a dark brown. So if we needed a dark brown, it would be perfectly sitting there. So we've got our color palette figured out. Basically 2 colors. What I also really like about this gouache, it dries so fast. I could just, you know, swap or swipe all of the crumbs and nothing stuck to it because it's already dry. Okay, so we have 2 colors. We have a blue and a beautiful range of corals, oranges, that type of a thing. And I think it looks super beautiful. If we added this to it now, I'm not sure. It kind of may not work, but that will be a last minute decision. So before I go ahead and start using the pencils, what I like to do is first of all do the line work. In this case it will be the hair. You can do the hair you like to do, you know, you can do different styles. The hair I like takes forever but I find it super therapeutic, really relaxing, and it's basically my doodling for the day done. So the way I do this is I pick a fringe, so it could be any type of a shape of a fringe. Let's say today I'm feeling like a middle parting and quite a low one, so about there. That will give us a lot of doodling lines, so I'm going to go ahead. So there we go. Now you can leave it like that, or you can draw some buns. You could do just 1 bun, or you could do 2. I'm going to go for 1 bun today. And same thing, starting with the middle point here. So what you can see here is, I've got some color here, so I wonder, yeah, I'll see if I can add color a little bit later to this. But I do want to have a bit of color in there. And it would be the same as the color I used on her face. The key here is to not overcomplicate anything. Pick a color palette and stick to it. So the whole ideology of limited color palette, this is where it works really well. Just, you know, focus on the other details of the illustration. So I will let it sit a little bit. So I'm not going to introduce watercolor straight away now, because chances are it's going to bleed a little bit. So let's start with the eyes while we're waiting for the hair. So to begin with, I'm just going to pick like the color that you want for the eyeliner. And there you go. I like it to be the darkest I can get. So pick your favorite color or color that you want to do. It doesn't have to be black at all. It can be any color that you want to do. Just think about certain makeup looks that you find inspiring. Okay. So here I made the bottom line quite thick. I'm not going to do it today, I don't think. So I'm just going to try and very lightly trace underneath like so. I mean, better yet, use like a fine liner or something, but I might just use the brown underneath a bit later, so that's fine. Now in terms of the eye, I'm going to make the pupil quite dark. You could change the pupils around a little bit. You could put them a bit more central if you wanted. That is again up to you. So let's now try this blue. I need a bit of a sharper point. Here it is. So for this detail you want the point to be as sharp as possible, because you're going to need to get into these tiny corner here, and it really is quite small. So I'm not putting too much there. And then I'm just going to pull out this blue color. Like so. So now she's got a blue eye. If you wanted to intensify, you can layer a little bit and go over again. These pencils are superb for layering. I have tried layering the same way with the Derwent Lightfast, and I just cannot get the same result. You can layer and layer in a abundance and keep on going and it's still fine. So luminants are beautiful for layering. If you're someone who's kind of undecided a lot of times about color or a certain look, and you don't feel quite right about something and you still want to keep on changing it and perfecting it, these pencils are great because with some pencils, once you layer it a couple of times, you can't really keep on going. It just will become quite waxy, and you know, that's it really. There's only so many layers you can get. However, here you still get quite a few more layers, so keep that in mind. So I quite like that for eye color. It's really pretty. Okay, next thing we're going to do is just perfect a few things. So I'm going to sharpen my pencil, and I can see that this eyeliner here needs to be almost straightened and sharpened. So I'm going to do that. There we go. Okay, and that's eyes done. Now let's try and attempt doing the hair. You could, by the way, totally leave the hair in peace as it is here. So if you want her to be blonde, just add more of the yellow. And try not to add too much of it. You don't need to kind of fill everything with it. And remember, less brush marks or brush strokes, the better. You want it to be kind of cute and not overworked. Also keep in mind, Turner's yellow is pretty opaque, so you still want to see that line that we worked on so hard creating. So just lift it a little bit in areas where you think it's just getting a bit lost. And if you needed to darken it just a little here or there, you can still do that. Use a tissue when you think you want to lift the color, and then again set it quite quickly. Now I will show you what you can do with just adding a bit of dimension. So let's see, let's go with this darkest color, which probably was this one, wasn't it? Yep. So I'm just going to rotate them this way. So I'm going to get this dark brown, which is burnt sienna, and this is still wet here, so no. Just in some area, like in the darkest area, I mean, you want to add a little bit of the pencil. Not here yet, just because you'll start scratching the paper. It's not fully wet. So this will emphasize what we already have going, which is this darkness, but with a bit of the brown, so it looks more polished. Like, you know, we actually did more work to it. Look at the difference it makes, just those few corners. All right. And then here I will do the same just on this area, but I'm waiting for it to dry again. You could also go and add some of these strands through the hair if you wanted to. You could pick a different color, maybe, let's see, where's that buff titanium? Or I have a brown ochre 10%. Let's see how that would go. So that's a bit wide, so it's going to yeah, so that's going to kind of take away from the lines that we have created there. So I'd probably stay away from too light colors. You could do that with darker colors if you wanted to. Just add a bit of darker there and here. Okay, so let's now focus on the eye makeup. So we've got a little bit of color happening there, but I'm going to pick this color, which is terracotta, and I'm going to add a little bit of it here. So I'm pushing harder towards the closer where the black line is, the liner, and then very light when I'm going out of it, just to smudge it more. And then I'll take it underneath, so where we said before, where we placed that very dark area, I'm going to go right over it, quite hard at this point so it blends in with the black that we placed. And then I'm going to just start blending it softly out. And same thing on the other side. Now you could make this as detailed as you wish. You could spend hours if you wanted on it. You know, if you have like one afternoon to yourself, undisturbed, undistracted, and you are in the mood of creating this pretty cute face, then you can do that, you know. Today I'm going to show you more of a shorter version, which will give you plenty of ideas that if you wanted to take it further, you totally could. So I'm just blending this out now around the eye area, like so. And then remember when I said about that orange popping color, that will come in soon handy. So I'm just going to work this color here a little bit more. Then I'll go over with a slightly darker color, just this one I think. So just a little bit of it now. And I'm not taking it as far as the previous color. So you can see it starts to pop a little bit here as well. And then we're going to take this bright orange and just add a little bit on top of the two colors that we just added, like that. You won't see it directly, but your eye will detect it, I promise you. And then again with the terracotta, just blending out this area tiny little bit more, just making it slightly bigger. Okay, so that's that. Our girl is slowly coming together. So for her nose, I would pick the terracotta again. Just create a little tiny nose like that. For the nose, you could do little dots. You could do this if you wanted to. You could draw more of a nose. So like here I have actually done a bit more shadowing around it. Then let's see, where's the darkest color? Try. Yes, so now the paper here is nice and dry, so I'll go over it just right at the base of the bun and just take it out here a little, like so. Okay, lips and lashes to finish. So I am going to show you how simple it is, if you have nice gouache, to create a cute lip. So look at that, just going straight in here. I would recommend a nice small brush, which actually resembles a real life lip brush. This one happens to be a pure sable, which you don't have to get. You can find alternatives, and it's the Jackson's 1/8. I swear by this brush. Actually, when I bought it, I didn't realize how incredibly useful it would be for this type of a work. So here we go. Just going to use this brush like a lip brush It's got a rounded, not a flat, but rounded tip, and placement of a lip color becomes such a joy. And I find that it works specifically well with this gouache because it's more of a thick paint, so the viscosity of it lends beautifully to how a lipstick would feel. Don't apply gouache on your lips though. Okay. At this point I would be moving around and twisting and turning the sketchbook to get the right angle, but because I'm filming, I'm not sure how you would find it, so I'm just not doing that, and it feels different, but it's fine. Now with this paint I like to go over a second layer to make it super kind of thick. I can see I didn't get that line there, so I will have to move it and just get into this corner. Because it's a pure sable brush, if you do opt to go for it, make sure you look after it. Don't leave the paint drying on the bristles. Wash it out straight away. Okay, I think we're almost there. I mean, you don't have to perfect it to this level. But there we go. So I would now take the same color, and the shape of the brush also is fantastic for creating these kind of little details. I would just take it out a bit wider. So I will let it dry fully and then go over it second time. Okay, so there we go. If you wanted to, you could add more of the blush, but I'm quite happy with it. It's quite gentle, quite sort of light. So what I'm going to do now is create the eyelashes, the signature eyelashes, which I love, my spider eyelashes. And then I would put a tiny little beauty spot, which again I always do on my illustrations. And then we should be able to go over it. I'm just going to blast it dry just in case, because I can see it's not fully dry yet. So it goes immediately matte when it's fully dried, and then on top of it I'm just going to add a bit more, and I'm not going to go over the edges just in case I mess it up. Just in the middle of the lip mostly, like that, and then for full opacity and for a full impact, which, you know, you get that from the first. I mean, you can see how opaque this is, but I do like to do it second time. Just find that it kind of almost makes the paper thicker, and when you look at it, it almost makes it look like a velvet lip. Same thing here. It's almost like the paper has been, you know, and just added with something else. So let's just dry this quickly again. All right, so here she is. She looks so adorable and so cute, and it was so much fun, and that's just the face. So I can't wait to show you all the other fun elements of this stamp set. Give her a body, give her a posture, and then dress her in something fun. So yeah, hopefully you're enjoying this. Let me know in the comments. So there you go. Let's have a look at the lip again. And if I'm going to tilt it, hopefully you see how beautifully matte it is. Isn't it gorgeous? Same thing with this one. You can see it better because it's darker, but basically that matteness, it's like a hole in the paper, isn't it? In a weird way. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.